This is Rob Tubber for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Delighted, as always, to be joined by Eddie Hearn. We're down at Fight Camp here in lovely sunny Essex. Eddie, how are you?
I'm good. I suppose it looks a bit different to when you were here last time. I was joking earlier that, I think last time we just had a little poxy ring in the middle and everyone was probably thinking, this is a bit naff. And I hope that when you turned up today, you went, wow, like I did a few days ago. And I think like the fighters are now, and for the next 4 weeks, this is the home of boxing.
Certainly is a different feel from obviously when we came down a couple of weeks ago. Ring is a little bit bigger. It seems like there's been more work that's been done. How big of a challenge has this been just this week?
Not just this week, but over the last, it's probably been 3 months. Sometimes people look at a problem as one problem, but really it's loads of little problems wrapped into one. So you have to just work day by day, overcoming each of those problems and those hurdles. And having now seen the fighters pass their tests yesterday, I got mine this afternoon, fingers crossed. We're there, we're nearly there. We know the weather's going to be good for this one, at least. And that's just the key. Just get through the event now, drive the interest, make sure people tune in, and then ultimately drive hopefully what will be a great event on Saturday night.
Now, before we come on to talking about the event on Saturday night, something I've been keen to ask you about, other people maybe not as keen to find out as I am, but Matchroom have upped their game somewhat in lockdown. You've had your rebrand, you've got a new website. Talk us through those changes and how you've been forced to kind of think about things a little bit more digitally with the lockdown.
I just think that, obviously the digital movement is important, but it's really given us an opportunity to focus on where we're going as a business. And sometimes you get so wrapped up in the buzz of live events, you never really get a chance to sit back, talk to the team and plan the future. The rebrand and the focus of that is very straightforward. We're making a move to be the sole player in boxing. And, people will say it's not possible. People will say that will take years. But that's the move for us. It has to be the move. And we're trying to be slicker. We're trying to be better. We're trying to copy the UFC on a lot of things, which I always joke about, but it's the truth. I'm such a huge admirer of their content, their branding, their presence, everything. And we want everything that we do feel like it's major. And that's really the ethos behind Fight Camp. When I see people going in studios and I see people going empty casinos, I don't criticise that because they're doing it. They're getting out there, they're making it happen. But it's not for us. Like, if I'm going to do it, if I'm going to lose money, then I want it to have a huge impact. And I know that broadcasters, fans will be watching this from around the world saying, Matchroom are major players, and that's what's important to me. I want to deliver something that others can't. And show me someone else that's delivering something like this in boxing. It's not existing.
You mentioned that about kind of losing money, and I know you've kind of mentioned it around certain other interviews with regards to this. How much of a hit is this going to be on you, and why are you okay with doing it?
One, we've got no choice. Two, I'm not prepared. We've had a great 10 years. We've had a great last 5 years. We've made a lot of money. So you have to understand that sometimes, things just aren't rosy every single day. You build a solid business and you build the foundations of a business and you build cash reserves in a business to be able to withstand the peaks and troughs that others can't. So when you have to make an investment to maintain the momentum that you've worked so hard to build the last 10 years, then you do it. If you don't and you go, I'm going to go on holiday and we'll come back next year, someone might overtake me. Someone might forget about me. Someone might forget about our fighters. Sky might say, what the fuck are they doing? The Zone might go, where's Matchroom? We're a vehicle, we're noise, and we have to keep that noise going consistently, but we have to keep creating compelling content. You would have seen promos, I think, for every single fight that we've produced. And it's just that quality, that look and that feel and that recognition that when Matchroom do things, they do things well, they do things right, and they are number one. And that's what we're trying to enforce, and lockdown's been a blessing in many ways because I felt like, even my life, I felt like it was just week to week, suitcase to suitcase, and then you get to the end of a year and you go, fuck, where has that gone? I've had 3 or 4 months where I've been doing things that I haven't done for years, getting up at 9, going for a walking the dog at 10 and maybe going in at 11, just taking the kids out every single day, having family dinners, sitting down at 5:30 p.m. And I've loved doing it. But now we're back to the nitty gritty, and so much so that my missus and kids have had to go away because they probably don't want to be around me for the next 4 weeks because I'm now in beast mode. Yeah, I'm here today, I'm working, and this is where I look at A lot of questions today. Oh, what do you think about the top ranked shows, the BT shows, the ratings? Where are they? Where's Aaron? Where's Warren? Where are you out there canvassing like a fucking cold caller? Yeah, like me, grafting this every single day from when I wake up in the morning to when I go to sleep at night, across social media, across digital content, here today, Zoom calls, this is our bread and butter. You're nowhere to be seen. I know you're getting old, but it's no excuse. If you're in it, you're in it. And I'm going to use this as an opportunity to just, I feel like we're up here anyway, Pastor, but I'm going to use it to skyrocket and leave everyone in our dust. That's what I'm looking to do, because I've got the energy to do it, and they haven't. And I don't blame them. I wouldn't be doing it at their age. I wouldn't expect my old man, although he would do it, to be out here grafting and, just pushing it. We've never put so much promotion into an event, especially one like Cheeseman against Eggington on Saturday night. This feels like a pay-per-view event, but we've had to, because we've got to grab your attention. We're fighting for eyeballs. We're not fighting other promoters. That's done. That job's done. We're fighting sports, and we have to make sure people are engaged into this project.
Talk about viewing figures. Much consternation about that, particularly in the recent Frank Warren shows. What constitutes success for you with regards to viewing figures? We've obviously seen the Premier League come back with massive numbers. The darts, as you mentioned, come back with huge numbers. What constitutes success? What are you looking for on Saturday night?
I don't want to jinx it, because just in case it's not very good, but the viewing figures for boxing have been worrying, and so much so. I mean, again, not a pop at Frank Warren. I've seen the viewing figures; they're abysmal. And even the top-ranked ones are. But maybe people just don't want to watch boxing in a studio. Maybe more likely, people didn't even know they were happening, right? So I need to come back here with something that says to Sky, that says to me, that's worked. Now, what is that range? I mean, for a Ted Cheeseman, like if we had this card in a normal fight night, we would peak at 100,000, right? Something like that. I'm looking for 200,000 plus, And that would be a big achievement for a card like this. But I've put a lot of work in. I'd be devastated if it didn't. And if it does only 100 or less, we might have a problem. You know what I mean? But I don't believe so, because I know every time I walk out for a coffee or for a bite to eat or to a supermarket, people are coming up to me going, when's that thing in your garden? That's mental. When's fight camp starting? That's called building a brand. That's called building interest. That's called driving energy and narrative into what you do. And I hope it's worked. And we'll find out on Sunday morning at about 10 a.m. when the figures come in.
You expect to see Mike Coppinger tweeting the barb figures with such vigour as he's done with the others?
He's already come on to me going, have you seen these numbers? Have you seen these numbers? I'm going to be reporting your numbers. And I thought, shit. And I was like, Mike, if they're good, can you report them? If they're not, can you not? So he's a bit brutal on that. But I guess that's in a way, it's their job. But they're so surprising, the numbers, that I think they've shocked people. But they don't know it's happening. Do you know what I mean? I don't believe, even Warren shows, I'm not saying they're dreadful in the current environment. No one knows they're on. And that's a major problem.
Now, we've spoken about the fights on this card in a previous interview. We are limited for time today, so I'm going to move on to other business. Showtime Sports announced their schedule coming back. 8 world title fights, 9 world champions. I know you would have seen it. What did you make of their schedule?
I had a little back and forward with old Stevie Baby. I think, again, fair play to them. If you're going to ask me honestly what I think about it, outside of the 2 pay-per-view events, tell me a fight you're looking forward to. Actually, no, because Nonito Donaire and thingy's not too bad. But let's go through the others. David Benavidez against Romar Angulo. No, awful fight. Chris Colbert, who I like Chris Colbert, but he's headlining an event against someone I never heard of. Stephen Fulton against Angeleo Leo. Sorry. And I think
Lipinets Abdu Kakarov.
Right, easy for you to say. But
probably didn't say that right. Forgive me if I didn't.
I will say one thing: the Gervonta Davis, Leo Santa Cruz, and the Charlo events, strong nights, strong events. Pay-per-view for Charlo, oh dear, watch the numbers. Gervonta Davis is a star. Gervonta Davis against Leo Santa Cruz, in my opinion, is a pay-per-view event. And I think they've done a wonderful job. Listen, we're all guilty sometimes of, what do we say in England, polishing a turd, where you have, something and you dust it up to make it look great. What they did was really clever. They said, this is our schedule, and everyone come back and went, wow. But when you dissected it, I think Coppinger got a bit of stick because he said, actually, what am I supposed to look forward to there again? But the two pay-per-view events are great nights. Charlo, even the Charlo night, it's not pay-per-view, but it's a really great night. I mean, Charlo Derevyanchenko's a good fight, and then you've got Charlo Rosario unification fight. So fair play to Stevie, baby. You know, we're not best buddies, and sometimes I want to just grab his cheeks and give him a little kiss. But it's going to be a while till I can do that again. But, you know.
We did interviews about a year ago, 18 months ago, where you basically said that Showtime wouldn't be around in boxing in 12, 18 months. Are you surprised?
12 to 18 months. A year ago. Okay, give me another 6 months.
12 months.
Yeah, give me another 6 months. There's no cast iron guarantee. Listen, we might not be around in boxing in 6 months' time. Boxing might not be around in 6 months' time. Fox might be out of boxing in 6 months' time. Like, anything can happen. I think you're very brave to think that that Showtime have a deep, you know, long-term strategy in boxing. Because boxing's in trouble. Sport is in trouble. Content is in trouble. So, day by day. But you know, anyone that comes back, Showtime, Top Rank, Warren, fair play. Like, it ain't easy. So, good luck to him.
What's the latest on Canelo Alvarez? Obviously, we're waiting on an announcement from him. I'm told by Golden Boy that that's coming very, very, very soon. What's the latest?
I don't know. I mean, look, we put our guys in the hat. You know, Bivol, Andrade, Ryder, Callum Smith. I believe he wants to fight Callum Smith. I do. I think September 12th is obviously unlikely now, but does it matter? I mean, not really. And hopefully one of our guys get the pick. We're ready to go. They're all training. And it would be an honour to be selected as Canelo Alvarez's opponent.
Where does that leave Billy Joe Saunders?
I think if he can't fight Callum Smith, I think he'll fight Demetrius Andrade.
The stuff with Billy Joe Saunders, I mean, obviously we've seen him recently get his fine for his video that came out during social media. We've seen him now miss out on the Canelo fight. Were these kind of the haphazard things that we discussed when you took him on in the first place?
You say he missed out on the Canelo fight. He wasn't willing to take less, and I don't think he would have been ready for September. So he wasn't really in the mix, to be honest with you. Everything was really rosy, right? He had a defence in November, and he had the Canelo Alvarez fight. It was all agreed. We were a few days away from announcing. Unfortunately for him, something called COVID-19 struck, and you can't blame him for that. But you know, we need to get Billy back in a saddle. He's a world-class fighter, and he's still got a big future ahead of him.
Ryan Garcia versus Luke Campbell. Spoke to Shane McGuigan this morning. Despite what came out from the WBC, I understand that a deal is still yet to be done. How far along are you with that?
Yeah, certainly no deal done. I saw that from the WBC. This is a problem. Like, Shane calls me and goes, "What? What's this?" I go, "Mate, there's nothing." We made an offer to Golden Boy. They've asked for more money. We're thinking about it. We're working it out. I believe that fight will happen. It's a wonderful fight. So in negotiations, and you know, I think you're likely to see that very soon.
Where does that leave Devin Haney? I heard you talking about Yuriorkis-Gamboa.
Yeah, he's in a mix. I think he's a good name. You know, I think it's a decent fight up at lightweight, and he'll want the winner of Campbell against Garcia if that happens.
Gamboa coming off a loss, not in the WBC top 15. I spoke to Mauricio. He said he'd be willing to give Devin Haney a voluntary, but if he's not part of the top 15 in the WBC, how does that fight become a possibility?
You request him to go in the top 15, and the WBC would have to review that. I think his performance against Gervonta Davis was decent enough to say he's a world-class fighter. Obviously, he took him deep in that fight, and I think it's a good name and a decent test for Devin.
Final one on the heavyweights. Spoke to Shelley Finkel yesterday. He said that Deontay Wilder, he's not bad. I'm still trying to work on getting him on camera, but we'll get there, I'm sure. He told me that Deontay Wilder fully intends to take the trilogy fight against Tyson Fury. Does that change your planning at all?
No, not really. I would expect him to do so, but I haven't heard anything from Deontay Wilder yet. So we'll see. Obviously, a lot is dependent on getting people back into buildings for that fight to happen, but I hope it does, because Dillian White's got the winner, and AJ is looking to fight for the undisputed in the second half of next year.
If Dillian White beats Alexander Povetkin, of course.
Of course, and that will all unfold right there.
Eddie Hearn, thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social.
Cheers, mate.